Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Ferrum Football First and 10. I am your host, Jordan Mann, and with me, as always, is Coach Rob Grande. Coach, congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Another season opening win. 2-0, Ferrum moves on after the 40-20 win against Apprentice. As a record-breaking day and a huge day for Ferrum's quarterback, Zach Clifford. He broke 3 records, actually broke 1, tied 2. He broke the most passing yards. Ferrum's never had a quarterback in the history pass for over 300 yards, and Clifford tied for 347. He also tied the school record with passing touchdowns with 3 and completions with 20. Coach, your overall thoughts of Zach Clifford's underachieving performance Saturday?
Not much of an underachieving performance, but Zach's a competitor and has had a really good camp, and a plan to play last week against Emory and Henry, and certainly with Tyler's injury, we got thrust into a little bit more action than we had anticipated, but handled that and came out on top. And then past week as a starter, it's a little bit different animal, but he had a great week of practice last week, and you don't anticipate records being broken, but the type of week he had, I'm not surprised at the type of game he had, and he's made the most of his opportunities.
Yeah, if you practice like you play, the coaches always preach, and you go out on Saturday and you play just like Zach Clifford. So that's why you always got to practice hard, so maybe you can go off like Zach Clifford did. And that is his first collegiate start. So that's going to be a big stepping stone for a second start. He's got to top that somehow.
That's all right. He'll do it.
And Jordan Mann had 82 rushing yards on the ground for the Panthers, plus a touchdown. And Clifford also had a rushing TD as well. So he had 4 total. Johnny White, after a big performance last week, came in, had 6 catches for 139 yards, 2 touchdowns, a highlight reel one-handed catch, and a 71-yard touchdown. Coach, what were your thoughts on that catch?
Pretty wild.
Yeah.
He went up and got it, and it's a big third down. It's a great catch, but the situation down the red zone to go up and get a ball knowing that you had a safety closing on you, and certainly was a highlight type of catch.
Yeah, it was, and he got hit too pretty good and came right back up like nothing happened. And like you said, extend the drive any way you can, and that's what White did, go up and make plays. And with the defense, they came in, got 3 and out, offense got on the field, went down and scored first possession. What were your thoughts on that? Like, I know that's a coach's goal, like go in, first drive, score. And then we missed the extra point, but, I mean, that's how you want the offense to start.
No doubt. Going out and getting the defense on the field, getting stops. Their first down really came off the fake punt that they ran, and we were stacking the box and had a rush on, so they had a better call than we had to get that conversion. But the defense was playing well against a team that had a good week 1, and we knew was formidable to come in here and challenge us. But we met that challenge early and got on the board, quick and often, and handled our business. Yeah,
and the score was 40-20, like I said, but really, the score does not indicate really how the game went, as Mann scored about 13:49 left to go in the game to make it 40-6, but Apprentice scored late twice to make it 40-20. And Coach, I know obviously it was a good win, but you don't want to give up like 2 TDs late. What were your thoughts on that?
I never want to give up TDs. I don't care when they are, but the other team's competing, and credit to Apprentice for battling for 60 minutes and making plays late to get in the end zone. And we got to do a better job in those situations to stop them.
Yeah, and but before that, basically 3.5 quarters. I mean, the defense, like I touched base with you off camera, you take away that 21 and 24-yard touchdown late in the game. The quarterback for Apprentice didn't even have over 100 yards passing, and he was sacked 6 times. So a tip of the cap to the defense. I mean, Montel Lee had 2 sacks. Kevin McNeil had 1 sack, and it was Tyus Brown had 2 sacks. I'm sorry, Taylor Brown had 2 sacks. Tyus Brown had 1 sack. So the defensive line, especially making plays week in and week out. And I don't know how Montel Lee gets in the backfield as much as he does. He gets double teamed in the trenches and still makes plays.
Players make plays. He's a dude being a dude.
He is. Now, with the kicking game, I saw that he brought in a new kicker. He did make a field goal late.
2.
So how, going into week 3 against Averett, it was going to be a competition in the kicking game?
There's competition all over our field, and Chase, served all year last year, and Brad Green came in this year as a freshman and had a good camp, and Chase and the rest of the team knows it's a week in and week out competitive opportunity, and you got to perform, you got to produce. And, certainly haven't given up on Chase. He kicked off the rest of the game, and he's a great teammate, encouraging Brad, and when Brad was making kicks, and we'll see where that goes this week and the weeks to come. But it doesn't matter if it's a defensive back, lineman, or a kicker. They're all competing, which is going to make us a better football team.
Yeah, and the 2-0 record shows that competing has paid off well so far early on for the Panthers. Switching gears, though, looking ahead to this weekend as Ferrum plays Averett, our first conference game against the rival. What is the game plan going in with Averett coming to town?
It's going to be a 60-minute battle. It's going to take everything we've got. They're a really good football team up front on both sides of the ball. They've got the best back in the conference, in my opinion, in the Bowman kid, and he's 150-plus yards a game, and was a challenge last year that our defense met. So I know they're going to be itching to right that ship from last year's game and get him going. They got a 1-2 punch with another back, and that's going to give our defense all they can handle. And then offensively, they were stingy last year against the run, and expect the same thing. And it was a battle down there at 14-3, and I think we were up 2-0 in the bottom of the ninth there at halftime after a safety. And I don't expect it to be much different than it was, and we're going to have to play a full football game to win.
Now, you said that they focused in on the run, kind of halted the offense, but like we touched base too off camera, that's the game plan now for teams that are trying to take man out. But if they stack the box and Clifford performs like he did against Apprentice, I know Averett's not Apprentice, but still, coming in, if you can beat him up top, that makes defenses play unexpected. You can do run, play action, create plays, and like you said, 14-3 win last year. Mann did have 118 yards rushing, but like you said, they did stack the box. And what's your keys to move 3-0?
Like I said, possess the ball, and kick after every possession. I always tell our players, whether it's an extra point, field goal, or punt, take care of the football. And defensively, like I said, the run game is going to be a huge factor, and try to get them in downs behind the chains. They play in front of the chains most of the game, so it's tough to get them in those scenarios. But we feel pretty confident if we can do that on defense, then we're going to be in a good position. And just doing little things. Don't make little problems become big problems, and eliminate penalties. You mentioned one of the touchdowns late. We had a 3rd and long. We get a penalty, extended a drive, and 65 more yards later, they're in the end zone. So if we eliminate those things that we can control, like we talk about all week, we're going to be a better football team this Saturday, regardless of who we play. But playing them is going to be a battle. They're 0-2, but lost 2 really good ODAC schools at Hampton-Sydney and Randolph-Macon, and played them toe-to-toe, and they're itching for a victory. So I'm sure they're coming in here with their guns a-blazing. Yeah,
and a rivalry game too. You can throw records out, and it's
just conference,
in the trenches,
regional, and everything else is it's just a great football game. Looking forward to it.
Yes, sir. So everybody come out to W.B. Adams Stadium at 1 o'clock. Look for your Ferrum Panthers to try and move on to 3-0. Coach, thank you.
No problem. Thanks.